Rosette,
Present, Miss.
Alferez,
Present, ma'am.
Nemigayan, Nemigayan Arnado, not yet, Shena Joy,
Present, Miss.
Alexis Kit, Justin, Justin, Botilia, wala. Okay, Nikki Marie,
Present, Miss.
Jessica Faye,
Present, Miss.
Claire Pauline, okay, Jean Christine, De La Serna, wala. Okay, Inot,
Present, Miss. Sorry, Miss.
okay, Inot, Inot not here. Gore,
Present, Miss.
Lisaw,
Present, Miss.
Laguno,
Present, Miss.
okay, Manzolin,
Present, Miss.
Oliva,
Present, Miss.
Olivar,
Present, Miss.
Oman,
Present, Miss.
Patigayon,
Present, Miss.
Perez,
Present, Miss.
Pranza, Pranza, not here. David Paul, Romero, Romero, not here. Sala, okay, how about Sandigan,
Present, Miss.
Santos,
Present, Santos, Miss.
Sigarino,
Present, Tigalino.
Sipalay,
Present, Miss.
okay, Sulon,
Present, Miss.
Tangkawan,
Present, Miss.
Teves,
Present, Miss.
Tulod,
Present tulod, Miss.
Tumulak, Valiente,
Present, Miss.
Villacura,
Present, Miss.
Vilvestre, Vilvestre,
Miss.
okay, once again,
Excuse me,
Arnado,
Miss. Ipansa, Miss na, Miss.
Present, Miss.
Buntuyan, sorry, Buntuyan,
Bunto yan.
okay, Butilia,
Present, Miss.
Present, Miss.
Inot, si Inot Angwa, okay, how about Pranza is here, okay, Romero, okay, wala si Romero, Vilvestre, okay, Vilvestre, Romero, and Inot. Okay, 3 of them. Okay, so these three are not here. So today I will discuss the cost of construction labor and equipment and how to handle the cost of handling materials. Okay, so since we don't have quiz sa atong midterm, next week during face-to-face, what I will be discussing today, we will have a quiz on next week with regards to what I will discuss today. Okay, so for the next Thursday, the first group will start to present the earthworks and excavation. Okay, so it will start on this Thursday. So be ready, earthwork and excavation. So I allotted 2 hours per topic. Okay, so next week on Monday, no, on Tuesday, we will have a quiz, and then the Thursday, concrete structures will present. Okay, so any question with that? Okay, and then, okay, yes.
Ano, tutukan na to. Sorry.
Okay, once again, De La Serna, what's your question?
Ay, kuan na miss, abi na ko mag-exam after sa reporting. Wala.
Mag-exam after reporting?
Oh, abi ra na ko miss na.
Okay. If you like last time, I told you na it's up to the reporter if they will give a short quiz after your reporting. So it's up to you, if you will give quiz to your to the class, okay? So whatever is your presentation, if you want to conduct a quiz after, so it's up to you. I will record all of your activity, okay?
Thank you, miss.
Okay. So I give you the authority, and what will you do in the class after your presentation? Okay, so someone is coming in, newcomers. May I know your name so I can record your attendance? Okay, Romero. Who else? There is still one. Okay, Velvestre. Okay, so only Inot is not here. Okay. And okay, so now for your final project, I already uploaded to the Google Classroom. So your final project is a quantity takeoff or quantity surveying of a condominium project. Okay, so I'll show you now. So your grouping will be the same as your reporting. Okay. Okay. So this will be a 7-story residential condominium. So what you need to do here, okay, so this is the architectural plan. So don't worry, kay ang 17 story are typical. So you just need to take, I think, the typical floor. I'll show you. So this is the perspective view. So this example of kuanha perspective view, so the 3D, so this will be the one you need to estimate. Okay, so class, please take care of this plan ha, kay confidential ni. So I'll just ako lang gipang tabunan ang mga confidential information. Okay, so here this is actually 18-story residential condominium. So so this is the architectural plan. Okay, so this is the front elevation and the rear elevation. So typical raman ni ang mga floor plan except sa ground floor, sa basement, sa roof deck. So they are just the same. So you can estimate one floor, then you just have to multiply. Okay? So kanita na no, kay ako na ning gi-upload sa Google Classroom for your reference. And then, okay. So architectural. For the structural, so muna ang structural, din ninyo makita ang mga details sa foundation, sa beam, sa mga sizes. You can see from here. So this is the ground floor beam. Okay. Kani siya ha, typical second floor. Actually, dili na siya 9th floor. Hangtod na siya sa 17th floor. And then the roof deck. Rather 18th floor. Roof deck. Roof plan. Okay, so muni ang plan for the rebars. So muni ang imong mga details kung sa column. And then naapod siya schedule. For example here, second floor to 10th floor, unsay sizes sa column. So makita ninyo diha for your estimate of concrete, for your estimate sa rebars. Okay, so mauna siya. So I will show you, this is an example of the estimate. So I think I will just give you this para naana mo'y guide on what you need to do. Okay, so yes, Pranza. Yes, Pranza, you're raising your hand. Any question? Pranza. Okay.
Chairman.
Yes, any question? Wala? Ay, nawala. Sorry. Okay, so this is an example of estimate. Okay? So here you have the quantity, you have the unit. So kaning unit ako na ning ihatag sa inyo ha para kabaw na mo on sa inyong basis. So for example sa earthwork here, you have your cubic meter. For your concrete, you have
Excuse me, ma'am. May nakita ko.
walay nakita. Wala siya nakita. Kana class na rin nakita.
Wala na, ma'am.
Okay, Nana. Okay, so this is an example of the quantity takeoff. So you have the quantity, you have the unit, you have the material, labor, or others, the markup, the VAT, then the total, and then the amount. Okay, so what are you going to do here? Kaning unit, ako ra ni ihatag sa inyo, so you already have your guide. For example, for the earthwork, na may cubic meter. For your concrete, you have square meter, or concrete also, some also is kg. Pero ang gigamit nila diri kay square meter. So it's up to you here, kg. For the concrete reinforcement sa mga rebars, kg. Okay? So here, naanay nakabutang kung asa dapit. Kung sa slab, sa column, sa ramp, sa stairs. So diri pod sa kuan concrete naanay nakabutang ground, second floor, third. Okay? So para naa na may guide kung unsa inyong i-estimate, then there is cast in place concrete. And then there is masonry accessories, you have your structural steel or your metals. Okay, this thermal and protection dili na ni apil ha, sa ako na ni tanggalon. And then your doors and windows, since architectural ni siya, dili ra po ni apil ninyo ha. Kay orderon roman sa na siya. Okay, so this hardware dili na apil. So ang inyong apilo na lang ang finishes, so for the tilings. Okay? So, the coverage for your estimate will be concrete, earthwork, steelworks, masonry, and your finishes. Okay? So, here, for the general requirements, wala na ni appeal. Kaya para na ni siya sa mga site mobilization, para sa staffing, sa housekeeping, sa water. Okay, so kani ako po ning uploaded to para na mo'y guide. So kamo ang inyong ibutan there is your quantity, how you will estimate the material, how you will estimate the labor. Okay, so kaning OCM or the overhead cost, naka-formula na ni diriha, so ay na lang ninyo hilabti. Ang kaning markup is 20%. Subot pa sabot mauni ang inyong ginansya. So kung pila inyong ma-estimate nga material o labor, automatic 20% na siya ha. So dili na inyo nihilagtan. And then your VAT is your tax, which is 9%. Okay? So here sa kani siya nga kuan, estimate will be okay, don't say. So kadto nga example sa estimate class for that condominium project. So you will need to submit, the deadline will be December 15 before our Christmas break. So you have 1 month to do. Okay? And then the final project grade will be based on I will grade you based on the original estimate. Kung mas dool inyong estimate dito, of course, you have that highest grade. Okay, so what I expect from you is you will submit on the Google Classroom, the PDF, and also the Excel file. So for your PDF, so of course, you need to put your cover page, your members, and you need to put your company name. So magbuhat mo og company name as if you are one of the bidder, and then you submit na dito ang project name. Okay, tanawa lang sa panon sa project name. And then you put my name as the client, then you put your company name as your bidder, then you put the members. Okay? So, there will be a group grade, there will be also an individual grade. So for your individual grade, I ask the group to have one leader. Okay, the purpose of this is I don't want later nga na ako ay madunggan nga wala siya nitabang sa inyong group project. That's why it's the responsibility of the leader to grade your own members, then imong ihatag sa ako ang imong individual grade. Okay, you understand that? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the deadline will be December 15. You upload on the Google Classroom your PDF file on your quantity takeoff and also your Excel file. So please i-distribute sa i-distribute sa members sa ilang assignment, kinsay ma-assign masonry or concrete or steel, or I don't know how you will do that in group, but please cooperate and coordinate with your final project. Okay, so any question with that final project? Yes, Aninya?
Good afternoon, ma'am. As per practice, ma'am, ang VAT na mo nga naandan pag OGT is 12%, pero as you mentioned, 9%. Ang among sundon, ma'am, is 9% lang since ma'am man yung basihan sa close na sa mga
Oh yes, kay karaan naman gusto siya nga project 9% pa lang ato nga time. Okay lang
Sige,
para
ma'am.
makita nako sa makita lang nako ang estimate compared sa original.
Thank you,
Okay?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that question. 12% na Dairon. Yeah. Okay, any other concern? Okay, pag wala na, I will start with our topic. Okay. Kay Nara may nakita. Nakita rin niyo ang slide, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so last time, so we are talking about B documents. So now I will just show you how since your reporting will be the actual estimate or the detailed estimate, so I'll just show you how to come up with conceptual cost estimating or approximate estimating. So we know that we have two kinds of estimate, conceptual and detailed. So this detailed is by reporting. Okay, conceptual is I will show you how to get a conceptual or approximate estimate. Okay, so why do we need cost estimate? Okay, it's for the owner. So part of the economic feasibility study. So it will let the owner know na kaya ra ba niyang i-build ang isa ka project by knowing the approximate cost, and also for engineer to use in selection of design alternatives. So kung unsay mas maayo nga materials gamiton in order for the engineers na makatipid or maka-lower sa cost, to keep the owner also forecast cost and to keep the design within the authorized budget. So that is why we need a conceptual cost estimate. Okay. Okay, so here, so this formula is used in developing unit cost. So remember, nakakuha na tag production rate, no? That is the cost made by a specific equipment or by a specific person in an hour. So this is our formula. So this is the forecast unit cost is equivalent to the minimum unit cost of previous project plus 4 times the average unit cost of the previous project and then plus the maximum unit cost of the previous project divided by 6. Okay, so for example, okay, so illustrate the weighting of the cost data from previous project to determine the forecast unit of a proposed project. So for example, mao ni ang cost information sa imong 8 previously project to construct a parking garage. So you need to build a car park building. Okay, so based sa previous project number 1, the cost is $466,560. So kani nga cost, it can accommodate 150 cars. Okay, so on and so forth. So project number 2, mao ni ang cost, mao ni ang allocated na number of cars. So the question is, what if you will propose a parking garage that can contain 185 parked cars? So the client is asking you, I want to build a garage with 135. So can you give me an approximate estimate? So using the formula, okay, so using the formula, no? So here, that the unit cost per car can be calculated as diyon sa man nato pagkuha ang kuan. So the project number 1, so the unit cost is 466,560 divided by 150. That's why we have 3,110.4. Okay? So muna siya unit cost per car. Okay? So project 2, 290,304 divided by 80. So that's why you have 3628. So 290 $100 divided by 80. That's why you have the unit cost per car. Okay, so once you take all the unit cost per car, yun mo na siyang i-total. So we have $30, 431.5. So here, using our, so the average cost per car is 30,431.5. You divided by 8. So mo ni ang average cost per car. So average cost per car is 3,803.94. So using the formula, which is forecast unit cost equals, asa man gikan ang 29380 through 987. So this is the minimum cost, which is here. Kaya mo na siya pinakagamay base sa atong formula. And then plus 4 times the average, which is the average cost per car is 3,803. So that's why we have here 3,803.94 plus the maximum cost per car, which is this one. So mani ang pinakataas. Okay? Divided by 6. So here, once you calculate here, this will be 3,763.14. So the approximate or the conceptual cost estimate for 135 cars will be 135 cars times the unit forecast cost is $508.23. So this is the answer. So if your client is asking you, or if your boss is asking you to compute the approximate estimate, so you can give this data if you have the data from your previous project. So that is the unit forecast cost. Okay? So, any question with this? Wala ra? Nasabtan running a method, nasabtan running a formula for unit cost. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so how about time adjustment? So for example, naa na kay inflation or deflation of cost with respect to time. Okay, so unsay formula na tong gamiton? So mo ni atong formula nga gamiton in order for us to get the approximate. So forecast cost equals the previous cost times 1 plus I raised to the power of n, or the number of years. So I is the equivalent compound interest rate, or sa ato pa nang kuan natay mga index. Okay, so for this example, supposedly we have the index for building construction project. So 3 years ago, mo ni ang index. 2 years ago, mo ni ang index. 1 year ago, and then the current year. Okay, so what if if you need to take the I, or the equivalent compound interest, can be calculated based on the change in the cost index during the 3-year period. Since 3 years ago naman, so ang interest para sa current year can be calculated as the current year, which is 378, over the last past 3 years, okay, is equivalent to 1 plus I raised to the power of 3. So, makuha nimo ang interest, which is 1.83%. So, this show nga sa 3 years, ang inflation is 1.83%. So, based ani nga data. Okay, based ani nga data. Okay, so, what if suppose that the cost information from 843,500 project is completed last year. So mo ni imong basis used to prepare an approximate estimate for a project proposal to be constructed 3 years from now. So unsa na imong formula karon nga ang imong basihan kay kani last year? So what is your forecasted cost if you plan to do the construction 3 years from now? Okay, so the cost will be, so this is the previous cost from our formula here. So the previous cost is 843,500 times 1 plus I. Okay, so this is our interest, 1.83 raised to the power of 4. Okay, any idea why become this? Why this become 4? Why is our number of years become 4? Okay, so this will become 4 since ang atong gibasihan nga project is last year. And then, buhaton na to ang project 3 years from now. So, it has a total of 4 years. So, that's why we raised to the power of 4. So, if you calculate this one, so the approximate cost when you do a project 3 years from now will be 906,960. Okay, $906,960. So that is how you calculate approximate cost based on time adjustment. Okay, this will be based on time adjustment. So it's already involved time. Okay, next. So now we will take the approximate cost based on the location. Okay, so these represent a relative differences in cost of material, equipment, and labor based on the location. Okay, so for our formula, this will be our formula. So forecasted cost equals previous cost times the location index of a proposed project over the location index of a previous project. Okay, so for example, you have this location index. Sa City A, for example, sa Cebu, this is the location index. In Manila, it's 1170. In Davao, 1 to 60. Okay, in Bacolod is 11. Okay. Okay, here in Boracay it's 1245. So for example, muna siya ang location index for construction cost. Okay? So suppose that the cost information from a 387,200 project completed in City A is to be used to prepare a conceptual cost estimate for construction of a proposed project in City D. Okay? So, ang question is, mao ni ang amount for City A. So, sa City A, ang amount nga nagamit sa ilang project is 387,200. So the question is how to get the approximate amount in City D. So kay maora siya nga information ang gamiton to get your approximate estimate on the construction of a building in City D. Okay, so using this formula, so the cost of the proposed project should be adjusted for location as, okay, previous cost. So this is the previous cost times location index of the proposed project. So City D, so sa Bacolod. So the proposed index is 1105. Okay, over what is the location index of the previous project. So the previous project is in City A. So the location index is 1025. So this is the previous one. So your forecasted cost is 417,420. So mao ni ang equivalent na approximate cost kung magtukod ka og building sa City D. Okay, so that is how you get approximate estimate for location adjustment. But please mind that these formulas will only applicable if you have the data on the location index. So I'm not sure here sa Philippines if we have this kind of data. Kaya usually this will be makuha ra ni siya sa mga kanang naay mga research or naay mag-publish nga kuan sa mga construction. Okay? Any question? Na-gets running? Okay, if you have any question, you just speak because I cannot see you on the Google Meet. Okay, I hear someone talking. What's the concern? Okay, wala. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so now let's go to the cost of construction labor and equipment. Okay, sorry. Okay, so cost of construction labor and equipment. So how we calculate the cost of a construction labor and equipment? Okay. So why is labor is important in a construction project? Because they influence every part of the project. They operate equipment, they fabricate and install, they make decisions that have major effect on the project. Most persons involved in a construction agree that people are the most important resources on a project. Okay, so do you agree with that? People are the most important resources on a project. That's why you need to calculate when you do a bidding, you need to calculate the cost of your labor and also your equipment. Okay, so the cost of labor, so daghan ang source sa cost of labor. So we have the straight time wage or the base time or mo ni siya imong base time plus the overtime pay. Okay, so mo na imong i-consider ha. Next is the social security tax. So usually apil na siya sa imuhang cost of labor, and then the employment compensation tax, naapatay workers compensation insurance. Then we have also public liability and property damage insurance. We have also the fringe benefits or the health insurance, vacation, or paid leave. So daghan kayo na siyang i-consider when you are calculating the cost of labor. Okay. So the labor wages, so usually 40 hours per week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week is called the base rate. So depends on the company. Kay company nga ang Saturday, consider gyapon nila nga base rate. But the other company, ang ila radyong base is 5 days, so muna ang Saturday is overtime. So depends on the company's discretion. Okay? So for work in excess of 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week, this is usually increased to 1.5 to 2 times the base rate. So kani siya, depende po ni siya sa company kung pila ang ilang overtime pay. It's either 1.5 or double pay or 2 times. Okay? So this one, so year 2022 pa ni siya class no sa rate of construction labor rates in Philippines. So foreman pila iyang per hour 750, welder 570, no? Muna ilang daily rate, electrician, carpenter, painter, mason, driver, equipment operator or helper. But I'm not sure pila na karon or updated ba ni siya. So just to give you overview, no? So this is their daily rate here sa 2022. So this is also in Manila. So I hear nga lahi ra pud ang rate sa Cebu or sa other places. Okay? Okay. So we have an example. Okay, so we have an example. An iron worker or a steelman. Parehara na sila steelman. So kanang mga nagkuan sa mga rebars, mga steelman ang tawag ana nila. Okay, works 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. Okay, ang iyang base wage is 20.99 per hour. Is paid for all straight time work, 8 hours a day and 5 days a week. Okay, so an overtime rate of time and 1/2 is paid for all hours over 8 hours a day. So 8 hours ra iyang base pay. So aside from that, overtime na siya. Okay, Monday to Friday and double time is paid for all Saturday work. So overtime na iyang Saturday, double pay. Okay? So ang iyang social security tax is 7.65%. Ang iyang unemployment tax is 3% of the actual wages. Okay, the rate of the compensation insurance is 12.5 per 100 of base wage. And the public liability and property damage insurance is 3.25 per 100 of base wage. Okay, then napagyud siya fringe benefits which is 3.15 per hour. So the question is, calculate the average hourly cost to hire an iron worker. Okay? So how we will get the average hourly cost to hire an iron worker or a steelman? Okay, so class, actually, wait, it's Um, Actually, my Google Meet will end in 1 hour. Kay dili man ni siya unlimited. So, it will end in few minutes. It will end in 10 minutes. So, ako na lang, mag-send lang ko ninyo og lain nga link. Okay? Kay maputol ni siya in 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So how are we going to calculate the hourly cost of a construction labor? Okay. So here, imo sang ihapon ang iyahang pay hours and actual hours. So based sa problem, nagtrabaho ang mga steelman og 10 hours a day og 6 days a week. So na siya 60 hours na daan. And then, ang iyahang pay hours, weekly straight time plus, ang straight time plus mo na ang base time. So, ang weekly straight time plus weekly overtime plus Sunday overtime is, so mora ni ang kuan, ang base time niya is 5 days times 8 hours a day. So, 1 ang iyang rate. Unya, ang iyang overtime kay 5 days times 2 hours. Nanong 2 hours man na class? Kay nagtrabaho man siya og 10 hours per day. So overtime na iyang 2 hours. So ang iyang base kay 8. Nya iyang overtime is 2 hours per day. Nya 5 ka adlaw. So mo na siya. Ang iyang pay is 1.5 iyang rate. And then ang iyang Saturday overtime kay 10 hours. Kay 6 days a week man siyang nag-work. Okay? Everybody follow? And then, sa iyang 10 hours in 1 day, giingon man to sa problem no nga, double pay ang iyang Sabado mo ng times 2. Okay? So, pila man total na ang iya ka oras? So, 40 hours kay 5 days times 8. So, na siya 40 hours. And then plus 5 days times 2. Okay? So 10. So 10 times here, na siya 10 hours dire. Okay? Since kani kay double time man siya, mahuman na siya nga 2 times 2, so mahog nga kani 20 hours na ang iyang gi-work. Diri 5 times 2 times 1.5 munang nakay 15 hours. Kani nakay 20 hours. So, naa siya total 75 hours nga gitrabaho. Okay? So, Base sa problem, ang iyang base wage is 20.97 per hour. Okay? So, ang iyang average hourly pay is pay hours times actual hours times the base wage. Okay? So, ang iyang pay hours is 75 hour divided by the actual hour, which is the 60, times ang base niya nga wage is 20.97. So, na siya 26.21 per hour. Okay, so muna ni iyang average na hourly pay. Okay, and then, napa siya mga taxes. So, ang taxes, naka-base niya siya sa actual wage. That's why, kung daghan kag overtime, taas pa din mong tax. While, ang insurance, naka-base ra na siya sa imuhang base wage. So, dili siya sa actual na wage. Okay? So, may difference. Okay? So, ang average hourly pay na 75 over 60 times 20, 97. So, na kay 26. So, mo ni siya imong average hourly pay. And then, na-mention sa problem, ng imong tax is 7.65 times sa imuhang actual wage na 26, so munang naa kay 2. Okay? Naa pa dyo'y unemployment tax nga 3%. So, i-multiply nimo na siya sa actual hour, which is 26. So, this is $0.78. And then, napadyo workers' compensation na 12.5 per 100 sa imong base wage. So, sa 20, so munang na kay 2.62. And then, napadyo public liability and property damage. So, base sa problem, tag $3.25 per 100 sa imong base wage. So, imo pa ning siyang i-add. Okay, napadyo'y fringe benefits na 3.15 per hour. So, meron na siyang i-add. So, total, muna nang ang total na average hourly cost sa imuhang workers is 35.457 per hour. So, muna imong bayaran sa iron worker per hour. Okay? Nasabtan ra ni? Nasabtan ra ni class? Okay, so nasabtan ra ni ha. So, ing-ani ang pag-compute sa cost of labor. So, medyo kuan siya. Pero karon kung mahimo mong quantity surveyor in the future, I'm sure na anay format ang inyong company unsaon pagkuha sa labor. Na share format no nga dili na mo mag-ingon ani. So this is only how you can compute if wala pa jud mo'y basis sa inyong construction labor. Okay? So class, can you leave the meeting? I will send another link because it will end soon. So let's continue. Wala man lagi na ibalik ang uban. Okay, summer 2 not coming. Okay, once I share the presentation, dili na ko makita if someone will want to admit. Okay, summer 1. Okay, wala na siya. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so from here, we know that the average hourly cost of the iron worker is 35.457 per hour. Okay, so kung 35 iyaha per hour, so we can also know ang iyang daily cost, which is 10 hours, is 354. Ang iyang weekly times 60 per hour is 2,000. And then ang iyang monthly is 9,000. Then ang iyang yearly is 110. Okay? So that is how we calculate the cost of construction labor. Okay, supposedly we want to know the production unit cost or the production rate. Suppose there are 5 iron workers in a crew. So lima sila kabuok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the crew can play 65, 6,000. Okay, someone is coming in. Okay, no more ha. Okay, okay. So supposedly here natay 5 iron workers, and then that 5 people or 5 workers can place 6,500 pounds per day of reinforcing steel. So, makabutang sila ng mga rebars, 6,500 pounds per day. Then, the cost of labor per pound of steel in a place can be calculated as, so 5 times the daily, which is 354.57 per day. So, muna ang ato ang production unit cost. Okay, so um, ang production rate is 6,500 per day. Okay? So, the cost per unit installed is the crew unit cost divided by the crew production rate. So, 1,172.85 per day divided by 6,500 pounds per day. So, ang atong production unit cost is equivalent to 0.27 dollars per pounds. So muna ang production unit cost. So but pasabot ang muna ang atong cost nga naa day dollars per pound sa imuhang steel. So muna na siya ang imuhang cost of labor. So for example, naka-estimate ka, for example, katong condo unit, naka-estimate ka og for example, pila ka kg, when ka 20,000 pounds or kato kay per kg man to. So imo na multiplyan og 0.27. So but pasabot, makabaw nakapilay cost sa imuhang total na labor or the unit cost of your steel. Okay, next. How about equipment? So kadto kay sa labor. So how to calculate the cost of a construction equipment? So usually sa construction, mo ni siya atong mga kuan ha, but not limited to this. Natay bulldozer, natay backhoe, scraper, excavator, trencher, motor grader. So mo ni siya ang mga heavy earth moving na usually gina-rent sa company kay mahal man kay ni pagpaliton, no? So how to calculate the construction equipment cost? Okay, so construction equipment. So all projects involve the use of construction equipment. Okay, ini-estimate must include the cost of equipment or the project since dili man mo kahimo sa project without any equipment. Okay, so what are the source of equipment? So sometimes it will be purchased, sometimes it will be rented. So depende on daghan mo project or wala, so mo namang rentra if wala. Okay, the choice between purchase and rental usually depend on the amount of time the equipment will be used by the contractor. So depende kung taas inyong operation or just a short period of time. Okay, so if extensive use of equipment is required, muna usually mamalit kaysa mag-rental. Okay, if the equipment is not to be used a limited amount of time, it is typically rented. Okay, so for the equipment cost, so it is necessary to determine two type of cost. So duha ka book ang cost pag equipment. So natay ownership cost, naapod tay operating cost. So the difference is ang ownership cost nag-involve na siya og investment since namalit man ka. So investment na nimo. And then depreciation. Okay, example mamalit ka og bulldozer, So, ma-depreciate man na siya, ma-loss ang value of equipment from resulting from use and age. Okay, so another cost of equipment is the operating cost. So, naa kay maintenance, naa kay repair, napadyug kay fuel consumption, and the use of oil, lubricating oil. Okay, so muna siya imo i-consider when you are calculating an equipment cost. Okay, so ownership cost. So for the ownership cost, mogamit ta og formula that is called capital recovery equation, or the equivalent annual value equals the purchase price times the annual interest times 1 plus I raised to the power of n, which is the number of years nga may useful imong equipment, over 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus I. Okay, so the P is the purchase price. So A is the annual value. So pilay annual value sa imong equipment kung mamalit ka. Okay, so the capital recovery equation gives the equivalent annual value of a purchase price, assuming an annual interest rate during the useful life of the equipment. Okay, so naputay laing equation, which is the sinking fund equation. So kani nga equation is will also gives you the annual value of your equipment if you have the future salvage value. Okay, so the future salvage value times the interest over 1 plus I raised to the power of n, or the useful years na magamit ang imuhang equipment. Okay, so the sinking fund equation gives you the equivalent annual value of the future salvage value, assuming the annual interest during the useful n. Okay, Um, mo ni atong basihan sa pag-calculate sa atong ownership cost. We are using capital recovery equation and sinking fund equation. Okay, so napasabtay lain. So for the operating cost, kung saan nimo pag-calculate sa imuhang lubricating oil consumption. So nasad na siya formula. So the Q is the quantity consumed in gallons per hour. Okay? So equals horsepower, or the horse rated power of engine, multiplied by 0.6. So 0.6 is constant. Mo ni siya ang operating factor sa imuhang machine, which is o sa imong engine, which is 60%, mo na 0.6 times 0.006 pound per horsepower times R. So this is also constant. So mo na siya ang quantity of oil consumed between the oil changes in gallon per rated horsepower of R. So mo na siya ang constant kung kanus dapat mag-change og oil. So pila ka oras or pila ka years ka mag-change og oil. So mo na ang constant over 7.4 pounds per gallon. Kani is also constant, plus C over T. C is the capacity of your crankcase. So pilay capacity sa imong crankcase, and then over the hours between the oil change. So kani very detailed na ni class ha, kanang kung kuan mo kanang mamalit jud mo og equipment. So para di mo maalkansi, inyo sa ni i-calculate ang lubricating oil consumption. Okay, so how about fuel consumption? How to calculate the fuel consumption? So we also have this formula, which is the fuel consumed in gallons per hour. So times the horsepower of an engine times 0.6, which is the operating factor, times the constant, which is 0.04 gallons. So this is the actual gallons of fuel for each actual horsepower hours developed sa imong engine. Okay? So, okay, for example, we need to calculate the equipment cost. Okay, so determine the probable cost of owning and operating a 165 engine excavator. Okay, so ang atong gi-calculate aniha para sa excavator. Okay, And then this is owning. So namalit. So new no consume for this equipment. So the owner prefers to depreciate the equipment. So since walay future salvage value, ang atong gamiton nga formula is ang una. So dili ang sinking fund. Kay kung nanag gani future salvage value, ang sinking fund equation atong gamiton. Okay? So maintenance and repair costs are expected 80% of the annual depreciation cost. Okay? So mo ni ang cost sa owner, so ownership cost. So price from factory, so namalit ka mo ni ang presyo sa excavator. Okay? So na ang excavator is 42 pounds. So ang excavator is 42 pounds times 2.57 per weight. Okay? So 1079. Okay? So mo ni ang freight or ang delivery. So muna ang weight sa imong excavator, and then mo ni ang price. Okay? So ang imong unloading o unloading is $75. So ang tax na padyoy tax na 5% sa imong price. So na kay 7,293. So ang total cost sa owner, so mao na siya. Okay? So So we know that the shipping weight is 42,000 pounds. And then ang useful life ko no 6 years. 6 years ra ang useful life sa excavator. And then ang hour used per year is 1/8. 1/8 hours lang magamit per hour. And then ang engine is 165 horsepower. Okay, the operating factor is 0.6. And then the grease consumed per hour or the oil is 0.5 pounds. And then the crankcase capacity is 6 gallons. And then the hours between oil changes is 100 hour. Okay, so muna ang mga given sa atong problem. So, karon as ato sang i-compute ang lubricating oil consumed. So based sa formula 165 horsepower. So from here, muna siya 165 horsepower times 0.6 times 0.006 over 7.4 plus the C and T, which is the crankcase capacity. Imong crankcase capacity is 6 gallon over the time nga mag-change ka og oil, which is here 100 hour. So 6 gallon over 100 hour. So when you calculate, ang mogawas is 0.14 gallons per hour. So muna imong makonsume nga oil 0.14 gallons per hour. So naa na kay lubricating oil consume. Karon ang mauna ang imuhang kanisya muna siya ang cost to owner. Karon ang ownership cost, assuming ang imong interest is 9%, okay, na kay risk addition na 3%, na kay taxes nga 5%, so ang imong total interest is 17%. So the MARR or the minimum acceptable rate of return is 17%. So 17%. Since wala siya salvage value as what I've mentioned, so we only use the capital recovery equation to calculate the hourly ownership cost. Okay, so this is our annual ownership cost. So our purchase value is 154. Okay. So interest rate is 17. That's why you have this. This is the interest rate. And then 1 plus 0.17 raised to the power of 6. So why money 6? Because the useful year is 6 based on the problem. and then 1 plus I raised to the power of 6 minus 1. So ang annual ownership cost is 43,167 per year. Okay? So ang hourly ownership cost, so asa man tagikan sa 1/8. So mo ni ang giingon dito nga usage of your equipment is only 1,800 hour per year. So since you have per year, so mo na nang na kay hourly ownership cost which is 23.98 per hour. Okay. So how about the operating cost? So muna na siya ang ownership cost. Karon, calculate na nimo ang operating cost. So ang giingon dito is naa kay depreciation cost which depreciation cost. So ang kuhaon nimo ang annual nga depreciation cost nya ang atong life sa atong excavator is only 6 years. So what we will do is the purchase price na 154 i-divide mo 6 years. Sa mura mao ni ang imuhang annual depreciation cost which is 25,822 per year. Okay, so napad jud kay maintenance na 80%. So maintenance times the yearly or the annual depreciation cost divided by 1/8 per hour para makuha na to ang hour. So, ang imong maintenance and repair cost sa imong excavator is 11.48 per hour. Okay? So, kaning maintenance ha gikan ni siya sa imuhang annual depreciation cost divided by the number of hours na magamit imong excavator which is 1/8 days sa problem. So mo nang naka 11.48 per hour. And then unsa man imong fuel consumption. So based sa formula 0.6 times horsepower which is 165 times 0.04 gallon per horsepower times hour. So you have 3.96 gallon per hour. And then asa man kagikan aning 1.4. So mo ni katong price nga gikan sa atong problem. So you have 5.54. Okay? And then ato nang na-calculate ang lubricating oil, mo to kanina ang 0.28. Okay? And then naapa kay grease. So 0.5 ang grease times 0.5 pounds. So na kay 0.25. So ang hourly operating cost is 17.55 per hour. So 11.48 plus 5 plus lubricating oil plus your grease mo nang na kay hourly operating cost na 17.55 per hour. Okay? So the total ownership cost and the operating cost is here makita na to ha mo ni siyang ownership cost na 23 per hour. Tapos ang atong operating cost which is 17 per hour. So kung mopalit ka og excavator, mao ni ang imuhang cost per hour, 41.53 per hour. So this is how you calculate your cost of buying an excavator, including the ownership and the operating cost. So 41.53 per hour. Okay? Okay. Any question with this? Any question? Nasabtan ra ni guys? If you have question ha, you can just ask. Nikki Marie, nasabtan ra ni Nikki Marie.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how about Sulon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will proceed. Okay, so example number 2. So equipment cost gihapon ta. Okay, so determine the probable cost per hour of owning and operating a bottom dump truck with rubber tires. Okay, so na ay rubber tires. So maintenance and repair are expected 50% of the straight line depreciation cost. Okay, so because the tires will have a different life from truck, so they are treated separately. So lahi ang imong price sa dump truck, lahi sa imong price sa rubber tires. Okay, so we have this information. So tag 92,000 ang dump truck. O niya, ang tires kay tag 12. Okay? Sorry. Tag 80 de ay unya apil ang tires mo ng 92,000. Okay? So, expected salvage value. So, 20,000 na lang. So, in 20,000 na lang ang expected nimo nga salvage value, no? Kay mo depreciate man na siya along the years. And then, ang dump truck is useful only for 5 years. And then, magamit ang dump truck is 1,500 per year. Okay, ang engine sa dump truck is 225 horsepower. Operating factor sa engine is 0.6. Then, ang tire life is 5,000 per hour lang. Okay? So, tire repair, naapoy repair ang tires, which is 20% of the annual ownership cost. And then, ang imong grease consumption per hour is 0.5. Imong crankcast capacity sa dump truck is 14 gallons. And then, the hours between all changes is 120. Okay. So, let's compute first the lubricating oil consumed. So, following the formula, horsepower, which is 225. Okay, 225 times 0.6 times 0.06 gallon per horsepower times R over 7.4 pounds per gallon plus C and T crankcase capacity, which is 14 gallons. So from here, crankcase capacity over the time changes of oil, which is the R between oil change is 120 per hour. 120 R. Okay, so our lubricating oil consumed is 0.23 gallon per hour. Okay, so muna siya magamit ng oil sa atong dump truck. Okay. So, assuming mao ni ang interest sa ato ang dump truck na ay 9%, ang risk addition is 3, taxes and insurance is 5, so total interest is 17. So, since na-mention sa problem nga na siya future salvage value nga 20,000, so ang atong gamiton nga formula is the sinking fund equation. So, we will use the sinking fund equation. Okay, so the purchase value is 80,200. So, you have to remember nga dili di mo i-appeal ang price sa tires kay lahi man to. Okay? And then 1i interest rate times 1 plus I raised to the power of 5. So 5 is the useful year sa dump truck over 1 plus I raised to the power of 5 minus 1 minus F. So this is our future salvage value. So that is your F. Okay, times I over 1 plus I raised to the power of N. Okay, so you calculate that. So, mo ni siya ang magawas. Okay, so ang atong annual ownership cost is 23,517 year for the truck. Okay, so how about for the tires? Kaya ato mang i-treat separately ang tires because it has a different life. Okay, ang tire life is 5,000. Unya gamiton raman siya 1,500 hour. So 5,000 divided by 1.5 mo nang na kay 3.33 years para nimo mailisan imong tires. So using the same formula. Okay, now this formula is not the sinking fund but the other formula kay wala man ay salvage value ang imong tires. So wala na ning F kanira ang imong gamiton nga formula. Okay, so purchase value sa imong tires which is 12,500 times interest rate 1 plus I raised to the power of n which is 3.33 over 1 plus 0.17 raised to the power of 3.33 minus 1. So naa kay cost sa imong tires which is 5,219 per year. Okay, so kani sa truck, lahi ang price sa truck, kani lahi pod ang price sa tires. Okay. Now na tay ownership cost. Karon we need to calculate the okay, so ato pa nang i-add di ay ang ownership cost sa truck o sa tires. That's why you have 28,776 per year. So muna siya ang total ownership cost. So now that we have total ownership cost, we need to calculate the operating cost. Okay, so for the operating cost, ang atong annual depreciation cost is our price, our purchase price, divided by the number of years. So muna natay 18,540 per year. So muna atong annual depreciation cost. Okay, so maintenance and repair sa equipment, according to the problem, 50%. So 50% times the annual depreciation cost divided by the number of hours being used. So muna makuha nimo ang 6.18 per hour. Okay? And then naapatay maintenance and repair sa tires which is 20%. So 20% times the annual depreciation cost of the tires which is 5,000. Kanya magamit ang tires kay 5,000 per hour. So marang naa kay 0.47. Okay? 0.47 per hour. Okay, next. Ang ibang fuel consumption, so substitute to the formula 0.6 times 225 times 0.04. So munang naa kay 5.4 gallon per hour. And then, ang price sa imong per gallon is 1.4. Munang naa kay 7.56 per hour. Okay, how about the lubricating oil? So muna to atong gi-compute kanina. So na kay 0.23 gallon per hour. Unya imong lubricating oil is $2 per gallon. That's why you have 0.46. And then napa kay grease. According to the problem, the grease is 0.5 pounds per hour. Unya tag 50 cents siya. So that's why you have 0.25. So i-total nimo ni tanan sa operating cost. The hourly operating cost is 15.15 per hour. So ang total ownership cost and the operating cost is kanina atong na-calculate na ang ownership cost sa dump truck is 19 per hour. Ang operating cost sa dump truck is 15.7. So, kung mamalit kag dump truck, mao ni ang imuhang ownership and operating cost which is 34.33 per hour. Okay, so this is now your equipment cost for owning and buying a dump truck. So, muna imong price per hour, 34.33. Okay? So, muna niyang imong i-quote sa imong client kung pila mo ka years magtrabaho sa inyong project. Kung pila mo ka years, for example, 2 years inyong contract, So pila man na ka oras ang 2 years, so muna na siya nga naa ka makakuha ka based ani nga cost para dili mo maalkansi. Okay? Okay, next. Next topic is handling and transporting material. Okay, so if magpa-deliver mo materials, it's either direct siya sa factory or ang contractor mo ay mukuha or mo ay magpa-deliver from the factory. Okay, so here, how to calculate the cost of handling and transporting material. Okay, so material suppliers generally deliver to the job site. So ila na i-reach deliver when you purchase na appeal ang delivery. Okay? Pero pag walay appeal ang delivery cost mo na, sometimes the material must be obtained by the contractor at the storage yard. So kung wala gani appeal ang delivery cost, muna na ang mugasto ang contractor to get the material from the storage yard. Okay? So when estimating the time required by a truck for a round trip, the estimator should divide the round trip time into 4 elements. So kung mag-calculate gani kag cost sa imong transporting material, dapat apil jud ni sa round trip. Mao ni composition sa round trip. Okay, ang pagloading sa material, kani ang pag-travel sa mo na ang whole load pag-abot sa site ug ang pag-return sa kuan. So kani ang unload pag-abot sa site, kani ang loading sa factory or sa storage. Okay, sa storage yard. And then kani ang mo ni ang biyahe time ni siyang hauling. And then kani ang biyahe time padulong pauli sa imuhang truck or any vehicle. Okay, so muna siya composition kung mag-ihap ka og cost sa imong round trip. So na na upat. Okay. So for example number 1. Okay. So natay 175 ton of sand with a density of 100 pounds per cubic feet that must be transported 7 miles using a 12 cubic yard of dump truck. Okay? So, ang capacity sa imong dump truck is 12. So, ang imong materials is 175 ton of sand. And then, mo na siya ang imong weight, 100 pounds per cubic feet. Okay, so you have 2 laborers and a driver. Subot pa sabot, duha ra siya ka laborer o isa ka driver at a rate of 1.5 cycle per hour each. So muna ilang rate 1.5 cubic yard per hour. So manual iyang pagload, manual. So 1.5 cubic yard per hour, mura na ilang maload. And then assume a whole speed of 30 mile per hour, return speed of 40 mile per hour, and a 3-minute to dump the load. So the cost of the truck is 25 per hour. Ang cost sa driver is 18 per hour. And then ang cost sa laborer is 15 per hour each. So what is the total time, the total cost, and the cost per unit for transporting the material? Okay. So karon mo na ni siya nga ang dump truck tag 25 per hour. Ang driver 18, ang duha ka laborer 15. Okay? So now we need to know first the volume of the sand. So we have 175 ton times 2,000 pounds per ton. So ato ra nang gi-convert ha, ayaw mo kalibog. Gi-convert na to ang ton into cubic yard. Kay since ang atong capacity sa dump truck is in cubic yard, so ato ra na siyang gi-convert. So 1 ton is equivalent to 2,000 pounds. So mo na siya. times cubic feet, 1,000 pounds. So muna ang density sa imong sand is 1,000 pounds. 100 pounds per cubic feet times cubic yard. 1 cubic yard is 27 cubic feet. So ato na siyang i-convert para makuha na to ang cubic yard. So ang equivalent sa 175 ton of sand is 130 cubic yard. Okay? So here, our cycle time or our trip. So sa pag-load, so base here, 12 cubic yard ang dump truck. Multiply nimo sa 3, kay 3 minutes daw, times 1.5 cycle per hour. So mo ni imong rate, mo ni ang rate 1.5 cycle per hour. Okay? So mo nang nakakuha ka og 2.67 hour sa imo lang ng pagload. How about sa hauling? Ang sa hauling, ang pag-travel kuno sa imong dump truck is 7 miles. So mo na kay 7 miles divided by 30 miles per hour. So nag-travel ka og 0.233 hour. Okay, and then nag-dump ka sa imong load or nag-unload ka is also 3 minutes. So this is 60 minute per hour. So ato rang gi-convert ha ang iyang dump, which is 0.05 hour. And then ang pag-return sa dump truck, 7 miles ang papunta. So 7 miles po na ang pauli. So ang pagpunta is 40 miles na, ang pagpadung is 30. So munang divided by 40 miles per hour. So that's why you get 0.175 per hour. So ang total cycle time sa imong dump truck is 3.125 hour per trip. So imo na na-calculate nga ang pag-deliver dai sa dump truck ay 3 ka oras per trip. Okay. So karon, we need to calculate the production rate. So the number of trips per hour, so kung naa kay one trip is ang iyahang, di ba na-calculate na tong iyahang cycle time, which is 3.125 hour per trip. So ang makaya niya di ay nga trip is 0.3 trips per hour. So man na iyang number of trips na makuha per hour. Okay, so pila man ang iyahang ma-travel per trip. So 12 cubic yard per trip times, kay mo man ni ang capacity sa atong dump truck, which is 12 cubic yard per trip. So multiplied by the number of trips per hour, so mo nang naa kay 3.84 cubic yard per hour. So ang suod ani sa dump truck is 3.84 cubic yard per hour. Okay? And then assume 45 minutes per hour as productive. Okay. So this assumption class is based lang kay dili man jud na 1 hour nga productive ang driver o ang laborer. Kay kung nag-manual loading sila, you cannot assume nga wala sila nagpahuway. So naa pa na stretching, nag-CR pa na. So mag-assume ta nga ang 15 minutes ana is nag-stretching ng mga laborer. So dili jud na nimo ma-count nga 1 hour iyang productive. So munang natay 45 minutes per hour na productive. So ang iyang production rate is 3.84 cycle per hour times 45 over 60. So, muna siyang 2.88 cycle per hour. So, ang actual run niya is 2.88 cubic yard per hour. So, kung dili ra nimo i-count ang iyang productivity, muna na kay 3.84. Pero kung imo ganing butangan og productivity ng 45 minutes, muna na kay 2.88 cubic yard. Okay, so now we already have the production rate. Now is we need to calculate the time. Okay, so using 1 truck and 2 laborers, the density of your sand is 130 cubic yard divided by 2.88 cubic yard per hour. So, bot pasabot, mahuman nila sa 45.1 hour. So, mahuman nila in 45 hours. Okay? Ang 133 cubic yard. Okay, so how about the cost? So, ang cost sa imong truck, so 45 hours man silang nagtrabaho, o niya ang labor sa imong truck ay 25 per hour. So, muna na kay 1,000. Ang driver, nga magtrabaho og 45 hours, tag 18 iyang hour. So, iyang sweldo 811. Ang laborers nga duha ka buok nagtrabaho og 45 hours, ang iyang rate is 15, so manang naa kay 1,353. Okay? So ang total cost nimo is 1,000, the total cost is 3,292.3. Okay, so what if we want to take the unit cost? Okay, so the unit cost per cubic yard is 3,292.3 divided by 130 cubic yard. So, ang price per cubic yard sa imong sand nga gi-deliver is 25.33 or 18.81 ton. Okay? So, mo na ni ang kuan ang answer class. So, here, based sa atong analysis, ang time, ang cost per unit of work are high because we only use laborer to load the sand. Okay? So, these high costs are a result of a truck sitting idle where the laborers are loading. So, ato ni siyang i-compare class kung what if atong gamiton kay dili manual, kay nag-manual loading raman ang atong laborer og ang driver. So what if mukuha taglaing equipment nga maoy mag-load sa material, dili ang manual, kay for sure pag manual dugay kay nahuman. So imagine 45 hours nilang i-load ang 130 cubic yard. Okay, so I think we don't have enough time. So ako na lang ni siyang i-continue sa Thursday before mag-start ang excavation. Okay, kay wala pa ko nahuman actually. Okay. We still have, 10 minutes. Okay. So, based on that example, nga same ra ang data class ha, nag-assume lang ta nga mogamit ta og tractor loader. So, instead of manual labor, nigamit lang ta og manual as small tractor kani siya para mag-load sa sand sa dump truck para dili na mag-manual ang driver o ang laborer. So kani nga tractor loader can be rented at a cost of 50 per hour. Iyang production rate is 95 cubic yard per hour. So the loader operator cost 21 per hour. So mo ni ang labor cost sa imong operator. So assuming the cost of transporting the loader to the job is 400, so mo ni ang imong bayad sa paghatod sa site. So what is the time, the cost per cubic yard for transporting 175 ton of sand? Okay? So atong i-compare kung unsay mas barato, mogamit ka og manual or ang mogamit ka og tractor. So here, the same, ang 175 ton is equivalent to 130 cubic yard. Okay, ang cycle time, kani 12 cubic yard gihapon, the same. So, ang nakalahi ra diri kay, ang production rate sa tractor is 95 cubic yard per hour. So, 0.125 na lang siya. Okay, ang pag-travel, so the same, kay same raman nga dump truck atong gigamit. Ang pag-load ra ang mag-differ kay nagamit ta og tractor. But for the hauling and the dumping, the same ra na siya kay we are using the same. And then the return is also 0.175. So ang total cycle time is 0.584 hour per trip. Okay. So for the production rate, so one trip divided by 0.584, so mo ni siya ang katong cycle time. So ang number of trips per hour is 1.71 trips per hour. So daghan kay siya mabuhat nga trips per hour kay paspas naman ang loading. Okay, so quantity hold per trip, so 12 cubic yard times 1.71. So mo ni ang iyang ma-hold per trip, so 20.5 cubic yard per hour. Okay, so assume mo ni imong productivity, so 15.4 cubic yard per hour ang imuhang production rate. Okay, so here using one truck and two laborers, 8.4 per hour. Ay, sorry class ha, sayop ni. This is not one truck and two laborers. This is already the tractor. So we have 8.4 per hour. Okay, so the loader, we need to calculate the cost of the loader. So base a problem, 8.4. So tag 50 per hour, so 420 ang loader or the tractor. Ang operator, so 8.4 lang silang nagtrabaho. So imagine class kanina 45 nagtrabaho, 45 hours ang laborer. So karon 8 hours lang gitrabaho sa tractor. Okay, so here tag 21 ang operator, manana kay 176. Ang truck 25 per hour, 210. And then ang driver kay 18 per hour, manang 151. So ang sa here mag-add ra kaani. So labor and equipment manang na kay 957. Okay, so i-add nimo ang pag-transport. Ang 957 is the total for this. Okay ha, muna siya total. And then, i-add ra nimo ang loader, which is 400. So muna imong rental, 400, no? So muna naa kay 1,357.6. So muna ang imuhang cost. Okay? So here, if you have the 1,357 divided by 130 cubic yard, so muna ang imong cost per cubic yard. Okay, so which is 7.76 ton. So pag imong ikuan, pag imong wait, if you have to compare sa example 1 and example 2, ang gamit nato diri duha ka laborer o isa ka driver, nya ang example to kay tractor. So pareha ra nga volume sa sand which is 130. Unya ang transporter nato kay pareha ra nga dump truck nga 12 cubic yard. So imagine ang dugay kaayo 3 hours per trip, this is only 0.5. Ang production rate is 2.88. Here is 15. So the unit cost is 25.33, whereas here sa number 2 is 10. So nagamit ka og tractor, ang unit cost niya is 10.44. So barato na kaayo, kuan na siya pila ka percent oh. So imagine na kay $15 difference. So that is the example when you calculate sa imuhang cost nga dili ka ma-alkansi. Okay, so here I'm just showing you na unsay difference kung mag-manual labor ka o magamit ka og equipment. Sometimes okay ra ang manual labor if gamay ra imong trabaho, but if you want daghan imong load or daghan ang imong quantity, mo na mas wiser to rent a tractor or a loader or any other equipment para mapadali imong work. Okay? So this is how to calculate material cost, labor cost, and construction equipment cost. Okay? So Um, it's almost time. So I think I still have one more problem. I will just continue on the next class on Thursday. And then the earthwork and excavation will proceed after I will finish my presentation. Okay, so any question?
None so far, Miss.
Okay, so our quiz, since wala man tay quiz sa atong midterm, no, we only have our midterm exam. So on Monday, oh no, on Tuesday, we will be having a quiz for this one on Tuesday, which I will charge to your midterm. Kaya wala tay quiz bisag usa for our midterm. Okay, so any concern? If
Ako na
no
Miss
have,
about sa exam Miss kay problems just tanan Miss or nagapoy objective type.
and my exam will be problem solving the same as the one I presented today. So pareha atong calculating the cost of labor and equipment.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay. Okay, so if you have no more question, you can leave the meeting and see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you,
Okay,
Miss.
thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, Miss.